We're here with Samuel Singz. So as we can guess, you sing.
Yes, along with dance, do splits, tell jokes. No, that's the side thing. The main is singing. That's the love. Yeah.
Well, it's really amazing to have you here. I know you reached out to me on Instagram saying that you wanted to have an interview discussing the Black Lives Matter movement and how it affects the music industry right now and vice versa. What I wanted to know is, how does it affect you personally? How does it inspire you, in regard to your music, and what's your story?
So I feel that that music is an escape in many ways for a lot of people. For me, music is that paradise. It is that safe haven to where you can be free. You can really express not just excitement, but you can express love. You can express like so many emotions through music. And so on a personal basis, music has always been in my life. I have a very strong foundation of faith and belief in God. And the beautiful thing that I would say is over the years, especially over the years until now, the music and just being able to do music and write music has taken me all over the world. But I would say regarding the current issues and the climate right now in America, minus the COVID-19.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna. This is not an easy time at all. You have been in the music industry for many years. You have opened for many artists. You performed at a BET after party. You've done a lot of things within the music community. And right now, what does the tone feel like? Especially given that we just had the BET Awards the other night, and I feel like there were a lot of statements that we made.
Yeah. It's solid. It's real, because I feel like, in a way, not saying that the COVID-19 is at all a good thing, but I think all of this kind of allowed it to be a perfect storm for our attentions to be not diverted. And when you talk about, when you begin to talk about George Floyd incident, in the predominantly Black community, these things have been happening for many years.
Right. But now all of a sudden people are filming them with their smartphones, and it's, making it to the public light. And it's almost unfathomable to me seeing some of these, and they're heartbreaking. But why does it keep happening?
I'll say this, and then I'll get to your question. I would say, for dealing with what's happening thus far, with the George Floyd incident, it was as you were saying, it was on video. So it wasn't as if, oh well, let's wait till all the evidence come out, or let's see about this, or what he should have. It was, this is an actual event that everybody saw, that people were saying this is going too far. And then the reality of it is, now it's bigger even than just a Black, justice issue.
It's a human rights issue.
Exactly. This is a humane issue. And so the thing that I believe, going back to the music, for artists, I always tell people this: listen, everybody has a part. Everybody has a part. If we say that this is the land of the free, the home of the brave, if we say that, that we want equality, and equality is part of the American dream that we all are sold on, then everybody has a part. Whether you are Black, whether you are Hispanic, whether you're Asian, whether you're Presbyterian, whether you're Catholic, everybody has a part, because what has happened, what everybody saw was a humane issue. Now Now, being an African American, being a black man, being proud of a black man, this is an amazing opportunity to say that the problem that had happened and that everybody saw, this has been happening for years.
Yeah.
And so now that the window is open and that people are being able to watch this, now it is a time to say, hey, we've got to do something about this. So I might not have all the answers, but or he might not have all the answers, but I'm gonna do my part. Whether that is marching, whether that is writing a song, doing a benefit concert, everybody's has a part to do. And so as an artist, that's where I come in.
Sorry, Kat.
It's cool.
But so I did a lot of reading, and I found that during, as these cases were brought to the forefront, I didn't know a lot. And I'm a privileged white person. I did not learn some things in school. I'm embarrassed to say that. I feel like I got the whitewashed version of history in a way until I really started reading, and I watched the documentary 13th, which was where I really learned a lot about systemic racism. Mm-hmm. I mean, I almost feel like that's part of the problem. Why do we not all know about these issues? And how can we further educate ourselves? And what do we do with, and I have so many questions. What do we do about the people who don't want to be educated? As you said before beautifully, being part of America, land of the free, home of the brave, you should want the best country. You should want improvements and change. But there's some people that are just hanging on to something, and I'm not really sure what it is, but it's like they're scared of it, or deep down worse. So how what's your opinion on all of that? I'm sorry, I threw so much at you.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. When we deal with racism, the reality is, I always tell everybody, it's a hard issue. So that's one thing. But when we deal with equality and injustice, that is something that, because the thing that I will say, and I will say a lot of other black people will say, is that, when you look for, when there is a police, and there is police officers who are take an oath to do their job and to serve and protect, and then you have Trayvon Martin, you have George Floyd, and you have you have even Breonna, the recent, Taylor, whom we're still fighting for. You have these cases. It's almost as if that, the reality is like, there's a system, there's a systematic that is set up to keep allowing these things to happen, and so that's why we have the issue of defunding the police. And right. So
and I wanted to get into that too, with the whole issue of police reform, because unfortunately, when you feel like you're butting heads with people, whether they be family, friends, loved ones, people that you've socialized with, I mean, that's the part that I find to be most shocking. People that I've socialized with, and having such a firm stance. Maybe they know someone who's a police officer, and they almost just don't want to admit deep down that there is a problem with the system. Doesn't matter if there's, and honestly, for the good cops that are out there, they should want change. They should want a system where they could feel they can come forward and report bad behavior.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing that gets me on a personal basis, is because, I don't, a lot of times I'm not one for politics, and I'm not really heavily big on debating. However, I believe now is an amazing time for people to talk about this, because the only way it's even in a relationship. The only way for you to get to that next level in relationship, you have to talk about it. You have to deal with these issues. You can't like fly past and act like it's not there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's almost like you have to be uncomfortable being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Or not
Absolutely.
afraid. Sorry, you have to be not afraid to be uncomfortable, because and that's the thing is I'm seeing a lot online, and these are people that I know that are like throwing peace and love out there. And it's like, every time I see that, it really makes me cringe a little bit, because no, not that peace and love is wrong, but this is the time to be having uncomfortable conversations, because otherwise nothing's going to get done. And it's difficult because it's, people like me who grew up privileged, I never had to face some of the things that I'm sure you have. So it's almost like, where do I find my part in this to be able to show support and help educate?
I think one of the first key things is because, my personal life, I used to get a lot of flack growing up because a lot of my friends were white. And so, but I've always been a person to have diverse friends. You put me in a room of nothing but like hyenas, and I'm going to have a friend out of them hyenas.
But that ugly thing is always there somewhere, whether, outside of your friend group.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the key thing is to, and I heard this by an amazing speaker, John Gray, had said, people were asking him, well, what can we do? A lot of the religious leaders were asking him, what can we do? Well, faith-based leaders are asking him, what's our part? And he was like, if that was your uncle, if that was your son, if that was your nephew, and something like that happened, what would be your steps? Your first reaction would be outrage.
Yeah.
And then after that outrage, you would be like, I'm gonna do something. Right. I don't know how I'm gonna get this.
And not for nothing, just reposting shit on social media is not doing anything. You don't get a cookie. I have signed petitions. I have reached out to my local government officials. But there's got to be more that we can all do as a society.
That's the first step. The direction not to go is to look away from it.
Right.
Is to act like it's not there. Is to find another reason. What about black on black crime? Well, okay.
Or not being able to get over the one police officer, you feel like you're dissing them, but it's like, I cannot understand that stance.
Exactly.
And the All Lives Matter people. I mean, they can go take a hike. If they're watching this right now, unfriend me, because. Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Even when you talk about, people say, well, what about the black on black crime? Statistically, crime happens in the proximity of where people live. So there would be more Asian people killing Asians because of the neighborhood and because of the proximity of where they're living. There'll be more white people killing white people because of the neighborhood and the area where they're living. More black people killing black people. And if you even want to deal with that even to another level, majority of the reason why there's a lot of black on black crime goes down to the very back to what I was saying in the beginning when it comes to
the system was designed. It's like that by design. And like I mentioned that documentary before, it was something I never learned in school.
Like, when you go to a lot of these communities, there is, especially, neighborhoods, predominantly black, there is poverty is a big thing. But why is poverty there? Where there's the liquor stores that are there. There's the check cashing places that are there. It is the area, the neighborhoods to where there is lesser of opportunities. And so what's happening now is a lot of corporations and a lot of organizations are beginning to realize that, hey, this field is uneven. Now, I would go as far as to say I believe a lot of CEOs knew this from the beginning, but now they're beginning to see that there's a generation now that's coming up that's saying, this is a problem, and we're going to do something about it. And we're going to do whatever we can to make for sure that this is not happening. Not that I'm saying I'm for the looting or the rioting that has been happening.
No, but that's besides the point. And I know there's some
yeah.
people that cannot get over that, people
Yeah.
destroying their cities. But I will say, I mean, look, it's Pride Month. This is the anniversary of the Stonewall riots, which was actually against police brutality. If you think about it, it's the same thing. And unfortunately, when when change needs to happen, it's sometimes a last resort, our protests. But here's the thing, and I think the whole defund the police scares people. They don't really understand what it means. But we have communities where teachers are buying their own supplies, okay?
Exactly.
We have communities where there's no mental health services in the school districts. But yet you have police departments that have tanks and military gear. It's a problem. They are also protected in case there are incidents. It almost puts them higher than anybody else. Yes,
and that's the thing. Nothing, what I learned about in music, even in becoming, I wouldn't say brand, but basically, building your own brand as an artist is nobody's going to do it for you. It doesn't matter who you know. It doesn't matter how many producers or connections you have. You got to put in the work for anything to happen, for anything to change. And so you can't, here's the thing that gets me and what I want to say to people, because I know people in the industry who are friends of mine who have not said nothing. I look at their page and I don't see anything. And I look at theirs and I don't see, and it moves me because I'm like,
because you wonder, you're like, okay, so, because listen, like you said before, you never really talked about politics. I kind of kept quiet about it too on my podcast. I didn't really say much, but I'm like, no. This is something else entirely. This is not the time to stay silent, because that actually speaks louder than any words. But you do wonder, you see people that haven't mentioned anything, they're just constant self-promotion. And it's like, what's really in your mind? Like, do you just think that everything should go back to the way it was? Because it can't.
And the thing with the all lives matter, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Yes.
Let me say, I don't have no criminal past or that sort of thing. I've been truly blessed. And I've never been one, how I want to say it, like stay in trouble or look for trouble. So when it comes to the law and that sort of thing, I am not saying that the law is bad or that, that police are bad, because I want to clarify that. I want to say that that it is an organization.
And there are good people. I think we stand together on that too, because a lot of my friends seem to think I hate police officers. I'm like, no.
Yeah, because if anything goes down, if anything happens, you better believe I'm gonna call.
Have you ever had to call the police before?
Yeah, I'm gonna call them. You can call me Kakashi68. I'm snitching.
I had to call. I heard a woman screaming once. I had to call 911. It was scary, but listen, it's a good thing to have police, but should you have the system that's above the law? No. So some people don't seem to understand that there's a difference there. But yeah, I 100% agree with you.
I understand that they have families and they're going out and risking their life. What I would say is it's a problem when there's an officer who knee is on this man's neck and then there's four that's standing not doing anything.
Because they're supposed to protect and serve the community, not just each other.
Yeah,
so I know.
Exactly.
But I know there's so many great organizations that you can donate to, go to their websites to get more information. So, I know some of the stuff is so surface level. We're getting new Band-Aids, yay. And a lot of companies are now featuring Black models. Like, that's great and all, but we still can't lose focus as to the issue at hand. Things need to change, things need to be done. And most importantly, some of the things that we can do is vote. Vote.
Absolutely.
Research who is in your district, who is running, get involved. I know there are people out there that don't vote still. Now's a good time. It's a good time to start.
Yeah, and people, especially, I would say, especially, because a lot of people feel as if, well, it doesn't count, or it doesn't make a difference. But see, here's the thing: this is how this is how laws get changed. And I had to learn this. A friend had told me, he was like, "You want to know who really runs the country?" And I was like, "Who?" He was like, "Attorneys." Because what they were saying is because, when you have something, you say, "Well, this is the law and this is the way it is." But when you really get to know the system and the way the system works, all of a sudden you could go talk to this Senate and this senator, and then he could have this pass, and all of a sudden that could be changed. But see, a lot of people don't know that that's how that works, and they also don't know that it's the big corporations who have fun, and that's why we have lobbyists. And so all of a sudden, it's a big business. But I feel like when you put the right people in power, when you put the right people to be mayors, and this is why I love
it's all the smaller level stuff that I think is super important, things that you might not even think about. I mean, filled out that absentee ballot, sent it in, and I researched all the people because I want to know what they stand for, and it's super important to get involved now. By the way, the people that I did write to, a few of my representatives did actually respond. Some of them were personalized letters to let me know that they heard my voice. So if there's something that you're thinking it's on your mind, please don't stay silent about it. It's very important. Also, and the name of the app is escaping me right now, but there is an app that goes over a whole array of topics, social justice issues, and you can click on each app and it will tell you, based off of your location, who your representatives are and the direct number and email to call, reach them. And it'll even give you a little script if you're shy, because I mean, some people might feel a little weird reaching out to their elected officials. It'll even give you a little script, and it takes about 2 seconds. And I got a not a handwritten letter, but it was addressed to me, a personalized letter.
Yeah.
Back, knowing that they heard my voice. So there are things that we can do. It's not just sharing stuff on Instagram. But anyway, you're a musician, and we completely, we've been talking about this topic for a long time. With your music, are you writing right now?
Oh yeah, I am. I am consistently almost every other day, or just writing, but not just writing. But right now I'm getting ready to my album. Destiny Volume 2 releases July 23rd, which is my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy early birthday. I can't believe tomorrow's July already.
I know, yeah.
But,
so
the things you're writing right now, I have to know, are you inspired by current events? Are you trying to like lift spirits instead? Like, what's your process and how does it relate to everything going on?
So this, what's really crazy is this project, I will say, has a lot of love songs, and I would say it probably has more love songs than any project that I put out. And the reason why is because I always say that love wins. At the end of the day, love is going to win. Like unconditional love is going to win. And so not only on this project are songs about love and romance, but it's songs about like love for your best friend, for your neighbor. It's songs of, like, I have a song called We Up, and it deals with like the current state of America, about injustice. But it deals with it on a very 80s Chicago style swing.
Oh, wow. Well, because they do say the best way to truly understand someone is to put yourself in their shoes. And I think music is such a powerful tool to be able to communicate that.
Yeah. And I feel like you could say, you could say that I'm hurting, or you could say that I'm in pain, but when you put it to words and a melody, and then instrumental, music with it, it carries a whole new deeper meaning. You know what I mean? And I feel like, that for so many artists like myself, are not only they're hurting, or they really frustrated, but it is a release of being able to say, you know, hey, this is how I've been feeling, and this is what I think should be happening. You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
platform, and you have the
Absolutely.
ability to use your voice.
Absolutely.
Well, you know,
Absolutely.
I have to, we have a couple of minutes left on this, but I just wanted to make sure that our listeners would be able to find your music. Where can they reach you?
So you can go to my website, realsingz.com. So that's real, REAL, and then Singz, SINGZ, .com. You can just Google Samuel Singz, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah, there you go. All right. And so wait a minute, you used to work for iHeartRadio. You still do?
I still
Right?
do. I still
Okay.
do.
So, yeah. That's dope. Hopefully, if the world doesn't pass over, I'm gonna be at the iHeart Music Festival next
There
year.
you go. Once festivals are safe again.
I know it. You know, if aliens don't come and
I know. It's been a year, but I just have to say,
yeah,
you are such a delight. You are such a pleasure to talk to. I wish you all the love and success, and, you know, keep speaking out. And I'd love to have you on again. This would be great to have another conversation.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And keep and one thing I want to say to you is like keep using your voice, because it is like it's those who even feel as if they are privileged or may not even think they're privileged, but they see an incident or they see that happening and they see what's happening and they're like, you know what, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to use the gift that I have, whether it be radio, whether it be cooking, whether it be writing poems, and I'm going to do something about it, make a difference in the world.
And I
Because
hope
at
that
the end
we
of the
can
day,
inspire everybody
yeah,
else to do the same.
absolutely,
Stand up for
absolutely,
what's right.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you are such a pleasure. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Till next time.
Till next time. See you soon, okay?